Morning! We've just parked up in the little lay-by on the A591 near Legburthwaite, where we've took the road into Legburthwaite towards Thirlmere, St John's in the Vale. Just a little bit further up you'll find an official Legburthwaite car parked. Right opposite that there's a couple of double gates. We've crossed them, head up the track until we hit another gate where we've took a right, crossed that little gill, and now we're heading up onto the Dodds. This is Mill Gill. We'll keep Mill Gill to our right hand side and we'll head up that ridge where that fence is just ahead of us. A couple of nice little waterfalls up here. There's one there. We've got to cross the beck here at Mill Gill, and we have another beautiful waterfall there. From this waterfall, head steeply up this bank and you'll find the fence. There's the fence. You're going to be fighting a bit with bracken, and here's the footpath. So now we've found this footpath. It's kind of plain sailing now, but beware, finding this footpath is difficult. I set off early. It's only about 8 o'clock now. I tried to beat the weather because there's heavy snow coming in apparently, but I think it's more or less confined to the summits. But we've not beat the weather. It's clagged up all around us now. It was clear when we were driving up here in the dark. We could see silhouette of all of the mountains, but they've gone now. That's Castle Rock behind me. It's a little Burkitt. We've actually done that one, so we're not going up there today. The last time I'd done this route I went up there and then came back to this path, but not today. This route's a steep ascent, but it's probably the quickest route you'll do the Dodds. You can clock a good chunk of hills off up here. Down there below us is High Rig. We're almost higher than High Rig now. Getting that way anyhow. Just follow the path straight up and we'll come out somewhere near Little Dodd where we'll head for Great Dodd. The path runs away from Mill Gill and heads into Ladknott Gill and runs up the side of it with the gill to our left hand side. That's Ladknott Gill just there, and I've actually found a path this time on Ladknott Gill, so I'm going to stick with this one. This path incidentally isn't on the map, but as you can see where Billy is there, it's clearly on the ground. It's not very clear really, but you know it is there. There's the gill. Don't cross it. Keep it to your left and head up this bank on the right hand side of the gill. I suppose if you wanted to cross it and head up that ridge over the other side, you would still get to where you wanted to get, maybe a little bit more scrambly. Bear in mind the route we're on and this track we're on. There's the Rockstar. It's covered in bracken, so you could be fighting through bracken a bit in the summer. And our descent route, hopefully all going well, we'll be coming off Stybarrow Dodd and down Sticks Pass back into Legburthwaite. I really can't stress enough how steep this route is. It's a real leg buster. Whew. It'll really get you. Juice is flowing straight out the car. If you don't like steep ascents straight from the car, don't bother. Branch off to your right from the gill and head for that dead tree ahead of me. That'll put you somewhere in the direction of Little Dodd. When we get above that tree, we should hopefully be able to see the route a bit better. There's the rock star. He's doing better than me. Right now I'm feeling beat. The wind's getting up. I'm sure it'll probably turn to snow, probably blizzard, but once we're up there we do know the route very well down Sticks Pass, so we'll soldier on. So yeah, I've kind of got my mountain legs now. We're not too far away from where the Calfhow Pike path meets up with Little Dodd and Great Dodd. Whew. As you can see, today's video isn't going to be about views. I'll always keep filming whatever the conditions. Today's video is going to be about how brutal things can get on the hills in a short space of time. Remember when I left the car there, I could see all the mountain tops in the dark. There wasn't a breath of wind. Within 1 hour, it's blowing in at about 40 miles an hour now. It's going to be a lot worse on the tops. From the dead tree where I left the gill, I've more or less been off-piste, but it's a clear fell side, there's no obstacles, so I've just took a direct bearing in the direction of Little Dodd and Great Dodd. Things are starting to turn white up there. Goggles would have been handy, but I forgot them and I don't wear them anyhow. I've got sunglasses if I'm desperate. I like to pull my hat down to my eye line, and that protects my eyes. Keep my head down, keep that spin drift and that ice out my eyes. They'll do. Just a little bit of protection and you're sorted. Here's a rock star. He'll keep his nose close to the ground and he'll use his nose rather than his eyes. We've just crossed the summit of Little Dodd, 785 metres. It's Burkitt. We're heading for Great Dodd. My GoPro's struggling, the batteries keep running out. I've got plenty, but I'm having to change them about every 5 minutes now. I've got one good battery that I got for Christmas. Summit, 857 metres. We're going to go and find the shelter. This is absolutely brutal. It's a long time since I was on the hills in this weather. We'll come back and we'll do the rest of the dodge on a better day. We're almost in whiteout conditions now. We're in a complete blizzard, but it's not soft snow. It's hard ice, it's absolutely smashing my face to bits, and the wind's in my face. I really do need that shelter. It's just up here, I think. Long time since I've needed a shelter as bad as I've needed this shelter now. I'm so pleased we found a little bit of shelter, because that plateau is absolutely horrendous. We're at our highest point, so I ain't pushing on along the ridge because the wind's in my face. I'm going to get that wind back behind me, head back down to Little Dodd, and we'll come back and we'll do this walk again. Like I say, this video is all about how quickly things can change up here. It's all about knowing where you are, all about being confident, all about knowing how far to push yourself. And believe me, I've pushed myself enough. I'm getting strain in my groin, my knees hurting a little bit. You know, I don't want to go any further. Our lad doesn't look so happy. I think it's time we were going, lad. Wind's about 60 miles an hour up here on the plateau. It's absolute purgatory. It's time to get off. Walked straight off the side of Great Dodd in the wrong direction. Traverse back round and heading back for Little Dodd now. There's a guy over there in the murk coming up the ridge from Calfhow Pike. Almost back down to Little Dodd. I've got the wind on my back now. Oh my god. It's absolute heaven. the massive gill of Mill Gill to the left of me, so if I keep that gill there, it doesn't matter that I'm off piste. At some point I'm gonna run into the gill that I came up earlier, Ladknott Gill, and then we'll know exactly where we are, and then we'll be out the worst of the weather and not a million miles away from the car. That was savage. The wind was in my face. If I carried on and done the other Dodds, it was just going to strip the skin off us. You know, I was a little bit concerned for Billy as well, so we've turned round. We got to our highest point, we got to the mountain, and we got to the top, and now we're heading back down. And we kept filming. The show must go on. We're in a sheep butt now, or rut, or whatever you want to call them. It ain't getting any better, but at least we've got a little bit of shelter. We're going to catch our breath, so we can sit here as long as we want now, without worrying. Billy's digging a hole. I don't know where he's planning on going, making himself a bed. Hey, stop that, it's going all over me. What a mess we're in. The wind's actually tore his jacket, look. See that? It's that windy. I think it's a better day tomorrow, so I would say the fells will be in good condition tomorrow. I'm actually off this week, so I think I'm having a walk tomorrow, but it's not in the lakes. I think I'm heading up to the southern uplands with my brother. He's here from Tenerife. He wants to see a bit of snow. Aye, he's going to see a bit, isn't he? But he's in Carlisle, so I'm going to pick him up there, and we're going to head up into southern Scotland. Billy's having a little sleep. Come on. Come on. Conditions have deteriorated even since we left the summit, so it was a wise decision to turn round. We've had a fantastic experience, you know, we've been stretched right to the limits of our comfort zone, and we love it. But you gotta think about safety. Anything goes wrong in them conditions when you're on your own, unfortunately you don't really stand much chance, do you? So you got to keep your wits about you. I recognise the ridge, I recognise the terrain, and you probably can't see, but I can see that dead tree that we came past, so I know without looking at my map that we're heading for the right place, because that dead tree is the only tree on this mountain. One horrible moment there I thought it was a different tree, but it's not. It's the same one, thankfully. All this ground in front of the tree is a crag. The tree's actually grown out the crag died a few years ago, I think. I'm going to go around this outcrop here, and I'm going to drop down into that chute, and then I'm going to stay on this side of the gill. That's the gill down there. There's not a lot of snow on the fell yet because it's so windy, it's blowing it about, and it's probably more like sleet. That tree is an absolute godsend of a landmark. You know, there's not a lot round here, there's no path, we're off-piste, so recognising these little bits and bobs when you're going up the hill really comes in handy when you come back down. We're back down to Ladknott Gill. I can see Castle Rock over the way there in the gloom. I don't think it's much lower than us now, so we've dropped down a lot. We shouldn't be too far away to get into that footpath now. In fact, I can see just down there ahead of me on this side of the gill, I can see where the snow is settled on the path. I'm going to say goodbye now. By the time we get back down to the car, the walk will be about 5 mile, 5.5 mile. I'll keep filming until we get back down. Just remember, if you do the walk in summer, you're going to be competing with a lot of bracken up here. There's a lot of bracken on this section of the ridge, but I am on a little bit of a path through the middle, so I suppose in the summer there will still be a path here. There it is. Yeah, so what an experience. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you like my content, please think about giving me a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. These snowflakes are getting a bit bigger now, look. I think we're going to get a good dumping of snow today. And it looks to me down in the bottom of Thirlmere, I can see green fields, so it's probably raining down there. Remember when you was a kid, you dreamed of snow, you used to sit at the window and it never came, but it always came a little bit more than it does these days down at the ground level. Us walkers, as adults that still love the snow, we see it every year, but every year I think we see less. You know, this has just came again, but I'm almost certain within a couple of days it'll all be gone again. You can just see the top of High Rig there and the line of pine trees that run across the ridge. It's a lovely hill and a lovely ridge. I think we'll do that walk sometime soon. It's normally actually clear on High Rig when all the high fells are clagged up, but not today. Everything's clagged up today. Look at this snow now. It's coming down quite hard. If you wanted to do the Birket of Castle Rock there, you'd just head up this fence and there's a gate just about there. Go through that gate, head up onto the summit. When I did it, I just came back down and I went up onto the Dodds, but I think you can go right over the top of it and come down somewhere around that side.